How often do we hear that people just don't care? How many times have you been told that real substantial change isn't possible because most people are too selfish, too stupid, or too lazy to try and make a difference in their community? I propose to you today that apathy as we think we know it doesn't actually exist, but rather that people do care, but that we live in a world that actively discourages engagement by constantly putting obstacles and barriers in our way. And I'll give you some examples of what I mean. Let's start with City Hall. You ever seen one of these before? This is a newspaper ad. It's a notice of a zoning application change for a new office building, so the neighborhood knows what's happening. As you can see, it's impossible to read. You need to get halfway down to even find out which address they're talking about, and then further down in tiny 10-point font to find out how to actually get involved. Imagine if the private sector advertised in the same way. If Nike wanted to sell a pair of shoes and put an ad in the paper like that. Now, that would never happen. You'll never see an ad like that because Nike actually wants you to buy their shoes. Whereas the City of Toronto clearly doesn't want you involved with the planning process, otherwise their ads would look something like this, with all the information basically laid out clearly, although the font is changed on the PowerPoint, so it's not as clear as I thought it would look in the ad, but you know what I'm saying. As long as the city's putting out notices like this to try and get people engaged, then of course people aren't going to be engaged. But that's not apathy, that's intentional exclusion. Public space. The manner in which we mistreat our public spaces is a huge obstacle towards any type of progressive political change because we've essentially put a price tag on freedom of expression. Whoever has the most money gets the loudest voice, dominating the visual and mental environment. The problem with this model is that there's some amazing messages that need to be said that aren't profitable to say. So you're never going to see them on a billboard. So I'll move on to the next one. There was a closing line there. The media, it'll come back to me later. The media plays an important relationship in, important role in developing our relationship with political change, mainly by ignoring politics and focusing on celebrities and scandals. But even when they do talk about important political issues, they do it in a way that I feel discourages engagement. And I'll give you an example. Here's the Now magazine from last week, Progressive Downtown Weekly in Toronto. This is the cover story. It's an article about a theater performance, and it starts with basic information about where it is, in case you actually want to go and see it after you've read the article. Where, the time, the website. Same with this. It's a movie review, an art review, a book review, where the reading is in case you want to go. A restaurant. You might not want to just read about it. Maybe you want to go to the restaurant, so they tell you where it is, what the prices are, the address, the phone number, etc. Then you get to their political articles. Here's a great article about an important election race that's happening. Talks about the candidates, written very well, but no information, no follow-up. No websites for the campaigns, no information about when the debates are, where the campaign offices are. Here's another good article about a new campaign opposing privatization of transit without any contact information for the campaign.